98% of you are not subscribed. Enter and subscribe because at the amount of 1,000 subscribers, I will post a very special video for you.
The vast expanse of space stretched out endlessly, a canvas of stars and nebulas painted against the dark void. Amidst this cosmic sea, a sleek starship cut through the silence, its hull reflecting the faint glow of distant suns. The ship, named Vortex Ascendant, was a marvel of alien engineering, bristling with technology far beyond the comprehension of most civilizations. Inside the ship, Commander Zalara Venther stood in the command center, her eyes fixed on the holographic display in front of her. She was tall and slender, with skin that shimmered in hues of deep blue and violet, a characteristic of her species, the Aurorians. Her eyes, a piercing shade of silver, scanned the information scrolling across the screen. Zalara was on a mission, one that had consumed her thoughts for months. Her goal was simple yet incredibly complex: to find the perfect human to join her crew. Not just any human, but one who was damaged, flawed in a way that made them unique and invaluable. She had a theory that such individuals possessed an adaptability and resilience that could not be found in any other species. "Commander, we've arrived at the designated coordinates," reported Lieutenant Kaval, her second in command. Kaval, a burly figure with emerald-green skin and a crown of spiked ridges on his head, was a member of the Gorak species, known for their strength and loyalty. "Thank you, Kaval," Zalara responded, her voice calm yet authoritative. "Prepare the scanners. We need to find a planet with a high probability of encountering humans with the specific traits we're looking for." Kaval nodded and began issuing orders to the crew. The Vortex Ascendant's advanced scanners activated, sending out waves of energy that probed the surrounding star systems. Within moments, the holographic display began to populate with data, highlighting several potential planets. "Commander, we've identified 3 possible locations," said Ensign Rylus, the ship's data analyst. Rylus, a diminutive figure with translucent wings and antennae, belonged to the Lyran species, known for their analytical minds and keen senses. "Display them," Zalara commanded. The holographic display shifted, showing detailed maps of 3 planets. The first was a desert world, its surface dotted with sparse settlements and ancient ruins. The second was a lush, jungle-covered planet teeming with life. The third was an urbanized planet, its surface covered in sprawling cities and advanced infrastructure. "Interesting," Zalara mused, studying the data. "Each of these planets has a significant human population, but we need more information. Focus on their social and psychological profiles." Rilis's fingers danced over the console, and the display zoomed in on each planet, revealing detailed reports on the inhabitants. Zalara's eyes narrowed as she read through the profiles, searching for signs of the damaged humans she sought. The urban planet, Terra Prime, seems to have the highest concentration of individuals with traumatic backgrounds, Rilis noted. Many of its inhabitants have experienced significant hardships, including wars, economic collapse, and personal losses. "Terra Prime it is," Zalara decided. "Set a course and prepare for landing. We need to blend in and conduct a thorough search. Remember, our objective is to find the perfect candidate, no matter how long it takes." The crew sprang into action, setting the coordinates and preparing the ship for the journey. As the Vortex Ascendant leaped into hyperspace, Zalara allowed herself a moment of reflection. She knew this mission would not be easy, but she was determined to succeed. The fate of her crew, and perhaps even her species, depended on it. The city of New Haven on Terra Prime was a bustling metropolis, its streets filled with a diverse array of people from all walks of life. Skyscrapers towered above, their glass facades reflecting the sunlight, while below, the streets thrummed with activity. Amidst the chaos, Zalara and her team moved with purpose, their alien features concealed by advanced holographic disguises. Zalara had assumed the appearance of a tall, dark-haired human woman, her piercing silver eyes hidden behind tinted glasses. Kaval and Rilis had taken on similar disguises, blending in seamlessly with the crowd. "Remember our cover story?" Zalara reminded her team. "We're here as recruiters for an interstellar organization seeking talented individuals for off-world opportunities." The team nodded, and they split up, each heading to different parts of the city to begin their search. Zilara made her way to a nearby coffee shop, a popular spot for locals. She ordered a drink and took a seat by the window, observing the people around her. Her attention was drawn to a young man sitting alone at a corner table. He had a disheveled appearance, with unkempt hair and clothes that looked like they hadn't been washed in days. Despite his rough exterior, there was something about him that caught Zilara's interest. She activated her hidden scanner, discreetly scanning the man's vitals and psychological profile. The results were exactly what she was looking for: a history of trauma, but also signs of remarkable resilience and adaptability. Zilara approached the man, her holographic disguise projecting a warm, friendly smile. "Mind if I join you?" she asked. The man looked up, surprised. Sure, I guess," he replied, his voice weary but curious. "I'm Zara, a recruiter for a special project." Zilara introduced herself using her alias. "We're looking for individuals with unique backgrounds and skills. Would you be interested in hearing more?" The man's eyes narrowed slightly, a mix of suspicion and intrigue. "What's the catch?" he asked. "No catch," Zilara assured him. "Just an opportunity to leave this place and make a real difference. What's your name?" "Ethan," he replied after a moment of hesitation. "Ethan Carter." "Nice to meet you, Ethan," Zilara said, extending her hand. "Why don't you tell me a bit about yourself?" Ethan hesitated again, then sighed. "Not much to tell. Used to be a soldier, saw a lot of bad stuff. Now I'm just trying to get by." Zilara nodded sympathetically. "I understand. Sometimes the hardest experiences shape us in ways we don't realize. That's exactly why we're interested in people like you." Ethan seemed to relax slightly. His curiosity piqued. "So what exactly is this project?" Zilara leaned in, her voice low and conspiratorial. "We're assembling a team for a mission that could change everything. We need people who can think outside the box, who have faced adversity and come out stronger. From what I've seen, you fit the bill perfectly." Ethan studied her for a moment, then nodded. "All right, I'm interested. What do I need to do?" "Meet me here tomorrow at the same time," Zilara instructed. "I'll introduce you to the rest of the team and explain everything in detail. And Ethan, this could be the start of something incredible." Ethan nodded again, a spark of hope in his eyes. "I'll be here." As Zilara left the coffee shop, she felt a sense of satisfaction. Finding the right candidates would take time, but she was confident that Ethan was a step in the right direction. The search had only just begun, but already she could see the potential in the humans of Terra Prime. Back on the Vortex Ascendant, Zilara met with Kaval and Relis to discuss their progress. Kaval had identified a potential candidate in a nearby shelter, while Relis had made contact with a promising individual at a local hospital. "It seems Terra Prime has more to offer than we anticipated," Zilara remarked. "Let's continue our search and see what other hidden gems we can find." The crew nodded in agreement, their determination renewed. They knew the mission ahead would be challenging, but with each new discovery they moved one step closer to their goal. And for Zilara, failure was not an option. As the days passed, the team continued their search, venturing into different parts of the city and encountering a variety of individuals. Some were wary, others eager for a chance at a new life. Zilara and her crew evaluated each one carefully, looking for the perfect combination of skills and experiences. One evening, as Zilara walked through the dimly lit streets of New Haven, she came across a small, dilapidated building. Curious, she entered and found herself in a rundown bar, its patrons a mix of rough-looking locals and weary travelers. Zilara took a seat at the bar and ordered a drink, her eyes scanning the room. She noticed a woman sitting alone at a table, her eyes fixed on a half-empty glass in front of her. The woman had a hardened look, her short-cropped hair and military-style jacket suggesting a background similar to Ethan's. Activating her hidden scanner, Zilara discreetly gathered data on the woman. The results were intriguing. A former pilot with a history of combat missions and a traumatic past. This was exactly the type of individual she was looking for. Zilara approached the woman, her holographic disguise projecting a friendly demeanor. "Mind if I join you?" she asked. The woman looked up, her eyes filled with suspicion. "Free country," she replied curtly. Thanks, Zilara said, taking a seat. I'm Zara, a recruiter for a special project. We're looking for individuals with unique backgrounds and skills. Would you be interested in hearing more? The woman eyed her warily. What's the catch? No catch, Zilara assured her. Just an opportunity to leave this place and make a real difference. What's your name? Alex, the woman replied after a moment. Alex Reyes. Nice to meet you, Alex, Zilara said, extending her hand. Why don't you tell me a bit about yourself? Alex hesitated, then shrugged. Not much to tell. Used to be a pilot, saw a lot of action. Now I'm just trying to forget. I understand, Zilara said sympathetically. Sometimes the hardest experiences shape us in ways we don't realize. That's exactly why we're interested in people like you. Alex studied her for a moment, then nodded. All right, I'm interested. What do I need to do? Meet me here tomorrow at the same time, Zilara instructed. I'll introduce you to the rest of the team and explain everything in detail. And Alex, this could be the start of something incredible. Alex nodded, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. I'll be here. As Zilara left the bar, she felt a sense of satisfaction. She was finding the right people, slowly but surely. The search was far from over, but each new recruit brought her one step closer to assembling the perfect crew. Back on the Vortex Ascendant, Zilara met with Kaval and Rylis to discuss their progress. Kaval had identified another potential candidate in a local market, while Rylis had made contact with a promising individual at a nearby school. It seems Terra Prime has more to offer than we anticipated, Zilara remarked. Let's continue our search and see what other hidden gems we can find. The crew nodded in agreement, their determination renewed. They knew the mission ahead would be challenging, but with each new discovery, they moved one step closer to their goal. And for Zilara, failure was not an option. As the days passed, the team continued their search, venturing into different parts of the city and encountering a variety of individuals. Some were wary, others eager for a chance at a new life. Zilara and her crew evaluated each one carefully, looking for the perfect combination of skills and experiences. One evening, as Zilara walked through the dimly lit streets of New Haven, she came across a small, dilapidated building. Curious, she entered and found herself in a rundown bar, its patrons a mix of rough-looking locals and weary travelers. Zilara took a seat at the bar and ordered a drink, her eyes scanning the room. She noticed a woman sitting alone at a table, her eyes fixed on a half-empty glass in front of her. The woman had a hardened look, her short-cropped hair and military-style jacket suggesting a background similar to Ethan's. Activating her hidden scanner, Zilara discreetly gathered data on the woman. The results were intriguing. A former pilot with a history of combat missions and a traumatic past. This was exactly the type of individual she was looking for. Zilara approached the woman, her holographic disguise projecting a friendly demeanor. Mind if I join you? She asked. The woman looked up, her eyes filled with suspicion. Free country? She replied curtly. Thanks, Zilara said, taking a seat. I'm Zara, a recruiter for a special project. We're looking for individuals with unique backgrounds and skills. Would you be interested in hearing more? The woman eyed her warily. What's the catch? No catch, Zilara assured her. Just an opportunity to leave this place and make a real difference. What's your name? Alex, the woman replied after a moment. Alex Reyes. Nice to meet you, Alex, Zilara said, extending her hand. Why don't you tell me a bit about yourself? Alex hesitated, then shrugged. Not much to tell. Used to be a pilot, saw a lot of action. Now I'm just trying to forget. I understand, Zilara said sympathetically. Sometimes the hardest experiences shape us in ways we don't realize. That's exactly why we're interested in people like you. Alex studied her for a moment, then nodded. All right, I'm interested. What do I need to do? Meet me here tomorrow at the same time, Zilara instructed. I'll introduce you to the rest of the team and explain everything in detail. And Alex, this could be the start of something incredible. Alex nodded, a glimmer of hope in her eyes. I'll be here. As Zilara left the bar, she felt a sense of satisfaction. She was finding the right people, slowly but surely. The search was far from over, but each new recruit brought her one step closer to assembling the perfect crew. Back on the Vortex Ascendant, Zalara met with Kaval and Relis to discuss their progress. Kaval had identified another potential candidate in a local market, while Relis had made contact with a promising individual at a nearby school. "It seems Terra Prime has more to offer than we anticipated," Zalara remarked. "Let's continue our search and see what other hidden gems we can find." The crew nodded in agreement, their determination renewed. They knew the mission ahead would be challenging, but with each new discovery they moved one step closer to their goal. And for Zalara, failure was not an option. Morning light filtered through the smoggy skies of New Haven as Zalara made her way back to the coffee shop where she was to meet Ethan. The city was slowly coming to life, its inhabitants moving about with the usual blend of haste and apathy. Zalara, however, was focused and driven, her mind set on the mission at hand. As she entered the coffee shop, she spotted Ethan sitting at the same table, a cup of coffee in his hands and a thoughtful expression on his face. He looked up as she approached and managed a faint smile. "Good morning, Ethan," Zalara greeted, taking a seat across from him. "I'm glad you decided to come." Ethan nodded, taking a sip of his coffee. "You made it sound interesting, and to be honest, I don't have much keeping me here." "I understand," Zalara replied. "I won't waste your time. I'll introduce you to the rest of the team and explain our mission in more detail. Are you ready?" Ethan nodded again. "Let's do it." Zalara led Ethan out of the coffee shop and through the bustling streets of New Haven. They walked for several blocks until they reached a nondescript building. Inside, they took a lift to the basement, which opened up into a spacious, high-tech facility, the temporary base of operations for the Vortex Ascendant's crew. Waiting inside were Kaval and Relis, both still in their human disguises. Kaval was a tall, muscular man with a stern expression, while Relis appeared as a petite woman with an air of quiet intelligence. "Ethan, meet Kaval and Relis, my trusted lieutenants," Zalara introduced. "They will be helping us with this mission." Kaval extended a hand, which Ethan shook firmly. "Welcome aboard," he said, his voice deep and steady. Relis nodded in greeting. "Nice to meet you, Ethan. We look forward to working with you." Ethan looked around, a mixture of curiosity and apprehension in his eyes. "So, what's the mission?" Zalara took a deep breath. "Our goal is to assemble a crew for a critical mission that involves exploring uncharted regions of space and addressing threats that could affect multiple civilizations. We need individuals who have faced adversity and can handle the unexpected. People like you, Ethan." Ethan absorbed the information, a thoughtful expression on his face. "And you think I fit the bill?" "Yes," Zalara replied confidently. "Your background and experiences make you uniquely qualified, but you won't be alone. We're assembling a team, and each member will bring their own strengths and perspectives." Ethan nodded slowly. "All right, I'm in. What's next?" "Next, we'll introduce you to another potential recruit," Zalara said. "Her name is Alex Reyes. She's a former pilot with a lot of experience in combat situations. We believe she will be a valuable addition to our team." Ethan raised an eyebrow. "A pilot, huh? Sounds interesting." The group made their way to the bar where Zalara had met Alex the previous evening. As they entered, they saw Alex already waiting at a table, nursing a drink. She looked up as they approached, her eyes narrowing slightly in recognition. "Alex, this is Ethan Carter," Zalara introduced. "Ethan, meet Alex Reyes." Alex gave a curt nod. "Nice to meet you," she said, her tone guarded. "Likewise," Ethan replied, taking a seat. "Zara here tells me you're a pilot." "Was a pilot," Alex corrected. "Now I'm just trying to stay out of trouble." "Well, we could use someone with your skills," Ethan said. "I think you'd be a great addition to the team." Alex studied him for a moment, then nodded. "All right, I'm willing to give it a shot. What's the plan?" Zalara smiled, pleased with the progress. "For now, we'll return to our base and discuss the mission in detail. After that, we'll begin training and preparations. There's a lot to do, and time is of the essence." The group returned to the base where they spent the next few hours going over the mission objectives, the potential challenges they might face, and the roles each member would play. Ethan and Alex listened intently, their expressions growing more serious as the gravity of the mission became clear. "Any questions?" Zalara asked after finishing her briefing. Ethan raised a hand. "Just one. Why us? Why not use your own people for this mission?" Zalara's expression softened. "The Aurorians have many strengths, but we lack the adaptability and resilience that humans possess. Your experiences, your ability to persevere through hardship, those are qualities we need for this mission. That's why we're here, seeking individuals like you." Ethan nodded, accepting the explanation. "All right, I'm in. Let's get to work." Alex nodded in agreement. "Same here, I'm ready." "Excellent," Zalara said, feeling a surge of determination. "Let's begin." The following days were a whirlwind of activity. The team underwent intensive training, honing their skills and learning to work together. Zalara pushed them hard, knowing that the success of their mission depended on their ability to function as a cohesive unit. Ethan proved to be a quick learner, his military background giving him a solid foundation to build upon. He worked well under pressure and quickly adapted to the advanced technology the Aurorians provided. Alex, too, excelled in her training, her piloting skills proving invaluable as they practiced maneuvers and simulations. Despite the rigorous training schedule, Zalara made sure to foster a sense of camaraderie among the team. She organized regular debriefing sessions where they could discuss their progress and address any concerns. Slowly but surely, the group began to bond, their initial wariness giving way to mutual respect and trust. One evening, after a particularly grueling training session, the team gathered in the common area to unwind. Ethan and Alex were engaged in a friendly game of cards, while Caval and Relis watched with amusement. "You're getting better at this," Alex remarked, shuffling the deck. "Almost like you've played before." Ethan chuckled. "Had to pass the time somehow during those long deployments. Cards were always a good way to keep morale up." Alex nodded, her expression thoughtful. "Yeah, I know what you mean. It's good to have something familiar to hold on to." Zalara watched the exchange with satisfaction. Building a strong team was just as important as the training itself. She knew that the bonds they were forming now would be crucial when they faced the challenges ahead. As the weeks passed, the team continued to improve, their confidence growing with each successful training exercise. Zalara kept a close eye on their progress, adjusting the training regimen as needed and providing guidance and support. One day, during a particularly intense simulation, the team faced a scenario that tested their abilities to the limit. They were tasked with navigating a treacherous asteroid field while fending off hostile forces. The simulation was designed to push them to their breaking point, and it did not disappoint. "Incoming bogeys! 5 o'clock!" Alex called out, her hands flying over the controls. "Evasive maneuvers!" Ethan shouted, bracing himself as the ship lurched to the side. Caval and Relis worked frantically to manage the ship's systems and repel the attackers. Zalara watched from the command center, ready to step in if needed but determined to let the team handle the situation. Despite the chaos, the team remained focused and coordinated. They worked together seamlessly, their training paying off as they navigated the asteroid field and neutralized the threats. When the simulation finally ended, they were exhausted but triumphant. "Well done, everyone," Zalara said, her voice filled with pride. "You handled that exceptionally well." Ethan wiped the sweat from his brow, a tired smile on his face. "Thanks, Zara. That was intense." Alex nodded in agreement. "Yeah, but it was good. We needed that." Caval and Relis exchanged nods of approval, their respect for their human teammates growing. As the team celebrated their success, Zalara felt a renewed sense of confidence in their mission. They were ready. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she knew they would face them together. The day finally came when the Vortex Ascendant was ready to depart. The team gathered in the command center, their expressions a mix of excitement and determination. Zalara stood at the helm, her gaze fixed on the stars beyond. "All systems are go," Caval reported, his voice steady. "Course plotted and ready," Alex added, her hands poised over the controls. Zalara took a deep breath, her heart swelling with pride and anticipation. "All right, team. Let's do this. Engage." With a hum of power, the Vortex Ascendant leaped into hyperspace, leaving Terra Prime behind. Their journey had begun, and there was no turning back. Together, they would face the unknown, their quest to find the perfect damaged human for Zalara's crew, driving them forward. As the stars streaked past, Zalara allowed herself a moment of reflection. She knew the road ahead would be difficult, but with Ethan, Alex, and the rest of her team by her side, she was confident they would succeed. The fate of her crew, and perhaps even her species, depended on it. And so the adventure continued, the Vortex Ascendant hurtling through space towards its destiny.
The Vortex Ascendant cruised through the serene darkness of space, its sleek hull gliding effortlessly among the stars. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was a blend of anticipation and focused determination. Zalara's team had spent weeks preparing for this moment, and now, as they ventured deeper into uncharted territories, the real test of their capabilities was about to begin. Ethan and Alex were in the common area, going over the latest mission briefings. Zalara had given them specific tasks to familiarize themselves with the alien technology they would be encountering. Kaval and Relis were in the engineering bay, fine-tuning the ship's systems and ensuring everything was in top condition. Zalara herself was on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the holographic star map that displayed their current trajectory. They were heading towards the Vega expanse, a region of space known for its unpredictable anomalies and uncharted planets. It was the perfect place to find the challenges they sought and the opportunities they needed. "Commander," Relis's voice came over the intercom. "We've detected an anomaly up ahead. It's unlike anything we've encountered before." Zalara turned her attention to the console. "On my way." She arrived in the engineering bay moments later, where Relis was analyzing the data. "What do we have?" "It's a spatial distortion," Relis explained, pointing to the readings on the screen. "But the energy signatures are off the charts. It's almost as if it's alive." Zalara's eyes narrowed as she studied the data. "Prepare a probe. We need to get a closer look." Kaval nodded and activated the launch sequence. The probe shot out from the Vortex Ascendant, speeding towards the anomaly. As it neared the distortion, the readings became more erratic. "Probe is transmitting data," Relis reported. "It's incredible. The distortion is emitting waves of energy that seem to be affecting the fabric of space-time itself." Zalara considered the implications. Could this be the source of the anomalies in the Vega expanse? "Possibly," Relis said. "We need more data to be sure." As they monitored the probe's progress, the ship suddenly shuddered. Alarms blared, and the lights flickered. "What's happening?" Zalara demanded. "The distortion is pulling us in," Kaval shouted, gripping the console. "Evasive maneuvers," Zalara ordered, rushing to the helm. Alex and Ethan joined her on the bridge, their expressions tense. "Engaging thrusters," Alex said, her hands moving swiftly over the controls. The ship strained against the pull of the distortion, but the force was too strong. "We're not breaking free," Ethan reported, his voice grim. Zalara's mind raced as she considered their options. "We need to stabilize the ship. Kaval, divert all power to the engines. Relis, analyze the distortion's patterns and find a way to counteract its pull." The crew sprang into action, each member focused on their task. As the ship continued to struggle against the anomaly, Zalara felt a surge of determination. They had come too far to be stopped now. "Commander," Relis said after a tense few moments, "I've identified a pattern. If we can synchronize our engines to the distortion's frequency, we might be able to break free." "Do it," Zalara ordered. "Alex, prepare to engage the engines on my mark." Relis input the necessary calculations, and the ship's systems hummed with new energy. "Ready," Relis confirmed. "Now, Alex," Zalara commanded. Alex activated the engines, and the Vortex Ascendant surged forward. For a moment, it felt as though they were being torn apart, but then the ship broke free from the distortion's grip. The alarm ceased, and the lights stabilized. "We're clear," Ethan said, relief evident in his voice. Zalara took a deep breath, her heart pounding. "Well done, everyone, that was close." As they moved away from the anomaly, the crew took a moment to recover. The experience had been harrowing,
but it had also brought them closer together. They had faced a formidable challenge and emerged victorious. "Commander," Rillis said, breaking the silence, "the data we collected from the anomaly is extraordinary. We've never seen anything like it." Zilara nodded. "We'll analyze it further once we're at a safe distance. For now, let's focus on navigating the rest of the Vega expanse. We need to stay vigilant." The team resumed their duties, the ship continuing its journey through the unknown. As they ventured deeper into the Vega expanse, they encountered more anomalies and challenges, each one testing their skills and resolve. One day, while exploring a particularly volatile region, they received a distress signal from a nearby planet. The signal was faint and garbled, but the urgency was clear. "Should we investigate?" Ethan asked, looking at Zilara. "Yes," she replied without hesitation. "Set a course for the source of the signal. If someone needs help, we're going to provide it." As they approached the planet, they could see signs of devastation. The surface was scarred with craters and wreckage, evidence of a recent battle. The distress signal led them to a small, damaged ship on the planet's surface. "Prepare a landing party," Zilara ordered. "Ethan, Alex, you're with me. Kaval, you have the bridge." The landing party descended to the planet, their ship touching down near the source of the signal. As they exited the ship, they were met with a scene of destruction. The wreckage of the damaged ship was scattered across the landscape, and the air was filled with the acrid smell of burnt metal. "Over here!" Ethan called, pointing to a figure lying amidst the debris. They rushed over and found a young woman, barely conscious and severely injured. Zilara knelt beside her, scanning her vitals. "She's in bad shape. We need to get her back to the ship." Ethan gently lifted the woman, and they hurried back to their vessel. Once on board, Rillis and the medical team worked quickly to stabilize her. Hours passed, and the tension in the ship was palpable as they waited for news. Finally, Rillis emerged from the medical bay, a look of relief on her face. "She's going to make it. She's still weak, but she's stable." Zilara nodded, feeling a sense of accomplishment. "Good work, everyone. Let's find out who she is and what happened here." When the woman finally regained consciousness, she introduced herself as Lara, a researcher from a distant colony. She explained that her ship had been attacked by a group of pirates, and she had sent the distress signal as a last-ditch effort to survive. "Thank you for saving me," Lara said, her voice weak but grateful. "I thought I was going to die out there." "You're safe now," Zilara assured her. "We're glad we could help. Do you have any idea why the pirates attacked you?" Lara shook her head. "No, they came out of nowhere. We didn't have anything valuable on board, just research equipment and data." Zilara exchanged a glance with her team. "We'll investigate further. For now, you need to rest and recover." As Lara was taken to the infirmary, Zilara gathered her team. "We need to find out more about these pirates. If they're attacking innocent ships, they pose a threat to everyone in this region." Ethan nodded. "Agreed. We can't let this go unchecked." Over the next few days, the Vortex Ascendant tracked down leads and gathered information about the pirate activity in the Vega expanse. They discovered that the pirates were a well-organized group preying on vulnerable ships and colonies. Zilara knew they couldn't take on the pirates alone, but they could disrupt their operations and protect those in need. With a renewed sense of purpose, the crew prepared for their next mission. As they set out to confront the pirates, Zilara felt a sense of determination. They had come together as a team, faced incredible challenges, and saved lives. Now they were ready to take on whatever came their way. The Vortex Ascendant soared through space, its crew united in their quest to make a difference. They knew the road ahead would be difficult, but with each other's support, they were prepared to face whatever the universe had in store. And so, their journey continued into the unknown, with the promise of adventure and the hope of a better future guiding their way.